anything in it. With Vistaprint, the printabilities are endless. New customers get 25% off their first order at Vistaprint.com.
So you think you know Wix, but do you really? First up, we've got shape video masks. You can use different shapes to create completely different vibes and aesthetics. Or you can create your own graphic. I use the shape composition here. Just import any SVG file and set it as a shape mask. Nice. Next up, we'll keep it moving with the hover box. You can use it to animate any element and create these really eye-catching interactions. And what I love is that the level of control you get here is crazy precise. You can set your animation ease, scale size, and position to create this really dope effect. Third, we've got the mega menu. This not only lets you organize your site menu into different subcategories, but it also looks amazing when you add in different elements like text, buttons, images, and pretty much anything you can think of. And last but not least, we've got My Designs. This feature lets you save any section or component that you've already created, and you can use it as a starting point on any other pages or sites you're working on. This one's personally saved me a ton of time. So you got all these features. Now see what you can do with them. Get on over to Wix and create something dope.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner!
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Kenny Walker! Touchdown! Smarty!
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes!
Caught! Touchdown Detroit Lions! They did it!
Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Working in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Monday morning to you. It is the second day of October 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Ben Glaze, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio and send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Our Myers Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843. That's 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox, and you can find us all individually on Twitter. Ben Glaze is at the Ben Glaze. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. What's going on? How was your weekend?
Good morning. Good. Watched a lot of football, saw a movie, hung out with family. It was good.
Oh, what movies you go see?
The Creator.
Is that the one about artificial intelligence?
Yes. And it was really good.
Yeah. It's terrifying at the same time, right?
Exactly.
Kind of the whole, like, I don't know why we're doing this. Why
Right.
would you do this? And the amount of high-level executives that have been involved in artificial intelligence projects that have quit is shocking. Trying to think about what was the big one that I saw that wasn't with Google, but shoot, what was the name of the company that he was with and he just up and left because he was like, we need to stop. I'm quitting because we need to stop.
Right.
And even Elon Musk was like, yeah, we should probably put this on hold for a second.
Was it Chat GPT?
Might have been.
Okay.
Might have been. But it was, you know what? No, I think it was one of the robotics companies.
Okay.
Just because they know that they've created a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
It's moving too fast.
It's moving very fast. It's moving as fast as. Did you see Pfizer has a deal with the SEC?
No.
Yeah. I saw during the Alabama game they had a Pfizer logo with an SEC logo talking about getting vaccinated again for the 15th time.
Wow.
So I'm sure that'll be great. That's not how we want to start a Monday with vaccines and artificial intelligence and, the World Economic Forum talking about population control. We want to talk about sports, baby.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to go. And we had a lot of sports over the weekend. We had college football. We had professional football. A very relaxing Sunday, just being able to, take in and, kind of poke fun at and watch the rest of the NFL. How about this for a stat? 17 losses. Career as a starter. Patrick Mahomes is 67-17. 67-17 as a starter. Guess how many losses Zach Wilson has now? 17. And look, last night, the late pass interference call, you could bark about that. The Chiefs get every call. We know that. I mean, they refused to call false starts and holdings in the game against the Detroit Lions in Week 1. I don't feel any sympathy for the Jets not getting a call, but it's pretty egregious there at the end. Congratulations to Zach Wilson for at least keeping them competitive in that game. I think that's a positive. He did fumble late, which with shotgun snap at midfield, 7:24 remaining in the fourth quarter. Final play of the 23-20 loss to the Chiefs. You can't lose that. Can't do that. He said he took responsibility for it. To drive right down there and drop a snap, I can't do that. I lost us the game, and I can't do that. I don't know. I really if he plays that way, we're going to win a lot of games, Robert Saleh said. I'm not going to make this a show about Zach Wilson. I mean, you know where I stand on that. The proof's in the pudding. This team was built for the playoffs. It was built to be a Super Bowl contender, and they just stink. There's not really – they got everything they need, too. Like, you can't come out here and say, well, no, well. I mean, they're 1-3. They beat the Bills on opening night, which is still shocking to me, and then went ahead and lost to the Cowboys, the Patriots, and the Chiefs so far. And by the way, the Patriots aren't anything to write home about either. Did you see what happened to them against the Dallas Cowboys? Mac Jones pulled from the game. Just atrocious. It's gonna be an early curtain call, I think, for him in his career. And it is interesting now that we see how things have played out with Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay, winning a Super Bowl, the Patriots just middling around in mediocrity ever since. It is kind of interesting to look back at that and say, well, maybe, just maybe, Brady was right all along. Maybe he was right all along. And maybe there was a good marriage there that worked for them for the time being. And at the same time, like, hey, that's it. We also said goodbye to Miguel Cabrera, his final game in Major League Baseball as a player. It sounds like he will be joining the organization in some form or facet, moving forward into an off-the-field role. But what a ceremony it was. What a weekend it was there. And we will definitely get into that. 6:35 this morning, your calls, your texts, your thoughts, your tweets, whatever, on Miguel Cabrera's send-off from yesterday. And really, I think the one thing that I pulled away from that game in particular was not so much Miguel Cabrera, and I'll explain why at 6:35. But we got a lot going on in the sports world. We'll try to get you all caught up. We'll do so real quick right now in the headlines.
Big news. I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers ended his Hall of Fame career with a victory. Terry Francona also closing out his career as well. But congratulations to Miguel and to the Tigers fans everywhere. Tigers win 5-2 in that ball game yesterday against the Br0's. Good for them. Very, very exciting times for Detroit Tigers fans. And more on that coming up, as I mentioned, a little bit later. Former Red Sox knuckleballer Tim Wakefield passed away at the age of 57. I didn't realize Curt Schilling had already spilled the beans about him with a cancer diagnosis, but just very unfortunate. 59 is way, way, way too young. Iowa quarterback Cade McNamara was carted off the field with a left leg injury. I don't know if you saw it. I don't think we have an official word on it. He was 3 of 5 for 46 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Deacon Hill, a Wisconsin transfer, replaced McNamara, led Iowa to its first touchdown drive, capped with a 3-yard pass to former Michigan tight end Eric Gall. But it was not good. He was scrambling out of the end zone, and he leaves, he gets past the goal line, goes to cut, and it looked like his knee had just exploded. They beat Michigan State 26-16. I know that obviously I've had my commentary about Cade McNamara and his comments about Michigan, but never do you want to see the young man go down like that, especially somebody who's battling back from an injury already. Georgia holds on to the number 1 spot. Congratulations to the Bulldogs. Michigan got 12 first-place votes, followed up by Texas with 10, and Florida State with 4, and Ohio State with 1. But the poll goes Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, and Florida State. The Detroit Red Wings smoked the Blackhawks last night. 6-1, your final score. More on that coming up a little bit later. The Milwaukee Bucks have added Cameron Payne and a plethora of other people as well. The Celtics are sending Robert Williams III, Malcolm Brogdon, 2024 first-rounder via Golden State, a 2029 first-rounder. That's all going to Portland. A lot of moving pieces. Drew Holiday joins the Celtics. Holy mackerel. We'll step aside. Back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. He is a managing partner at Bean Garter, soon to be Dorn Mayhew, and they'll be stronger together. And did you know Bean Garter can help your business with outsourcing your payroll and other business needs? That can help ease tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. Just go to BrNGarter.com to find out more how they can help your payroll system and make your workplace that much smoother. Go to BrNGarter.com. That's BEENEGARTER.com, and they can help you with all your payroll needs. Like I mentioned, tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. All your payroll needs can be handled by the team at BrNGarter. Find out more at BrNGarter.com.
There are 13 folds that bring the American flag to the iconic shape of freedom. This summer, Folds of Honor and Budweiser celebrate 13 years of changing military and first responder lives together. Service never stops, and neither will we. So join me in raising a Budweiser to raise funds for Folds of Honor.
Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar or additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. You know it's not too late right now. My buddy Joe hit me up the other day. Joe from Outkick. You know Joe from Outkick. He's been on the show multiple times, and they got this awesome, sizzling Sundays package happening right now at Tullymore Golf Resort. It's the hottest deal of the season for a few weeks for fall golf. From right now until October 14th, you can get a very limited quantity of the sizzling Sunday package for just $199. Here's the deal. Enjoy 18 holes on Sunday, followed up by a delicious steak dinner with overnight accommodations included before 18 more holes on Monday. So you get 18 Sunday, dinner, 18 Monday. How about that? This package is a steal. Visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com. Like I told you, it's not too late to book your stay and play, and that's an awesome way to do it. A little Sunday, Monday action for you. So you got a case of the Mondays, take a Monday off and go see my friend Matt Golden. It's in Canadian Lake, so it's easy to get to no matter what direction you are coming from. It's about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. Maybe a swing by Soaring Eagle on the way through. Let me a little 2-for-1 trip right there, and you're all set. 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. I'm working out of Traverse City this morning. Get to try out the new stations up north. We want to hear Ryan. That's what Nate says on YouTube. Ryan, the people, they're clamoring for you. They're asking for you. Where the hell are you? By the way, good morning to our newest affiliates, 93.7 FM WKAD and 1340 AM and 104.7 FM WMBM. Petoskey, Charlevoix, Bel Air, Boyne City, Traverse City, Cadillac, Houghton Lake, Northport, Gaylord, Lewiston, the Southern UP. It's awesome to be back up and covering a majority of, if not almost all of, the entire northwest portion of the state, man. That's fantastic. And tomorrow is the third day of October, so we have more big news for tomorrow as well. So it's a very good time. It's a very exciting time for us here on the Michigan Sports Network, and especially for us here in the mornings. And we'll share that with you at the end of the show. What's to come and what's coming up next. All right, Europe, they took on Team USA in the Ryder Cup. I don't know if anybody was following along. It was very difficult based on the tee times and when it was going to be televised. You know, for me personally, this is the way, and, you know, I'm very interested in television. I'm very interested in how it all works. Very interested in how that some of the decisions are made. Like, for example, if I were the NFL, and I did get a little pushback on this idea last night. When Aaron Rodgers went down, you could probably flex out every primetime game for the New York Jets. You probably can. We don't need to cater to Patrick Mahomes. The biggest game of the weekend would have been the Bills-Dolphins. That should have been Sunday Night Football. But neither here nor there. So Rome and Italy are 6 hours ahead of the United States of America. It seems like it would have been a relatively, easy sort of decision to make here to say, look, maybe instead of playing it, teeing off so it's 1 o'clock or 1:30 in the morning in the United States, because the United States is coming over here, and we could do the same thing for Europe because we're behind Europe. So we could tee off early in the morning and it works out because, they're going to be 5 or 6 hours ahead depending on where you're at. Right now, it's 22 minutes after noon in Rome. Like, it's 6 hours. It's really not that big a deal. So the guys could have teed off at 7 a.m. or right now, even 6 a.m. local time, make the tee times around noon, and just schedule it around that way. That would have been just fine. If you wanted to do 5 a.m. in the U.S. and 11 a.m. in Europe, that would have been great too. Like, why can't we just come to a happy medium? Why do we have to tee up? It's not like it's the Open Championship where, sure, they're, a few hours ahead and they have to start at that time because they have 100-plus golfers out there. You got 2 teams at 12. Anyways, this was an absolute slaughter by the Europeans. They took us to their home turf, And after a 6-6 split in the Sunday singles, Europeans officially took the Ryder Cup 16.5 to 11.5. Their streak of wins on home soil now extends beyond 30 years. The Americans, bad shape. Fell behind early 4-0. Never found it, too little, too late. For Team Europe, Rory McIlroy, 4-1-0. Congratulations to Rory. What a show he put on. Tyrrell Hatton was 3-0-1. Victor Hovland, 3-1-1. Victor Hovland has done it. What it kind of really feels like the right way to do it. You know, you come up as an amateur, and you're trying to make your way through the golfing circuit, through the golfing world, and you've just done everything necessary. Like, you got your cue card, you won the big amateur tournaments, you get into the pros, now you're winning there, and it's like, dude, like this guy, he just does it all. He does it all. And good for him. Like, that's exactly what you want to see. Tommy Fleetwood was at 3-1-0. John Rahm was 2-0-2, so at least he didn't lose. He just had a couple of halves out there. So good for him. Robert McIntyre was 2-0-1. Ludwig Aberg, 2-2. Justin Rose, 1-1-1. Shane Lowry, 1-1-1. Matt Fitzpatrick, 1-2. Sepp Straka, 1-2. Nikolai Hogard, 0-2-1. He was probably the worst of the, not probably, he was the worst of the Europeans. And then Team USA, Max Homa, he was the lone American to have a winning record on the weekend. He was 3-1-1. And without Max Homa, this is a disaster. Patrick Cantley was 2-2. And Cantley won't wear his hat because he thinks that you should be paid to play the Ryder Cup. Like, if that was his sentiment, then they shouldn't have had him on the team. If you don't want to go to Europe to play golf for free because you want to get paid, we don't need to send you. Period. End of discussion. You don't want to do it? Take your name out of the hat. Why'd you go? So you could not wear your hat as some sort of silent protest and look like an idiot in front of the world. A greedy, spoiled, selfish idiot is what you look like, Patrick Cantley. You are at the bottom of the barrel. You're right there with Patrick Reed. Something about that name, I don't know. Get him out of here. Send him to the Corn Ferry Tour. Brian Harmon was 2-2. Brooks Koepka was 1-1-1. Kind of an up and down little bit of a week. They got beat 9-7 Saturday morning. He halved his other team match and remained unbeaten in singles play, which is great. Justin Thomas was 1-2-1. Wyndham Clark was 1-1-1. Colin Morikawa was 1-3. Spieth was 0-2-2. Scheffler was 0-2-2. Xander Schauffele was 1-3. Ricky was 0-2. I mean, it was just an absolute disaster. That was a disaster. And good for the Europeans. After Patrick Cantley's Hatgate thing, we didn't deserve to win that. Not at all. And I don't care if he sparked the U.S. to a 3-1 afternoon over the weekend. Like, no. Get out. The fact that Koepka and Scheffler lost on 4-ball, 9-7. I mean, that's a total blowout. That's just somebody grabbing you by the ankles and throwing you into the locker. That's what that is. I mean, that was just absolutely atrocious from the United States. And, I don't know. If they're not going to, got to be able to win over there. I think Bethpage is where we go next. Maybe there's a little bit of a rebound there in 2025, but just an incredibly poor showing from the Americans. Incredibly poor. And good for the Europeans. I mean, they went out there, protect home turf. We had the issue with the caddy, chirping at a fan, getting in Rory's way. Like, we look like between the caddy going rogue, the guy doesn't want to wear a hat because he's protesting that he's not getting paid. Like, we look just like we are. We a disgusting group of individuals over here that are spoiled rotten. That's what we looked like, and that's what we showed. That's what we showed in the Ryder Cup. So, you know what? I'm glad we lost. Call me unpatriotic, but we need to get our act together. We need to get our act together. And if you're that concerned about it, maybe you shouldn't go play. How about that? We'll step aside. We'll be back. Miggy Send-Off next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com. at MHSAA on Twitter and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive, boys and girls, high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
I'm Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball.
I'm Herman Moore, and football is my game.
So we know a few things about sports.
And the passion of Detroit fans.
That's why we're big fans of Eagle Casino and Sports.
It's the mobile sports book that lets you bet on action all year long.
Right from your mobile device. Eagle Casino and Sports.
Made in Michigan. Made for Michigan.
Download the app and start winning today. Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email FreddyThePizzaman@gmail.com.
Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Football back in full swing. Another week of epic games, and who's got you covered for the action for every single one of them? DraftKings does, of course, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet $5 on football, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Nobody is missing out on the action all season long, with all DraftKings customers taking advantage of 2 new offers on game day. Get in on the NFL Week 5 action with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app right now. Use the promo code HUGE to sign up. New customers bet $5, take home $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, only using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. Now, if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. So great to have you all with us here this morning and yesterday over the weekend. That was it for the great Miguel Cabrera. The end of his 21-year illustrious Hall of Fame career has come to a close. And for a lot of the flack that the Tigers get on a regular basis, and then this is organizationally, they did this weekend well. And I thought that it was great for some of the younger fans to be able to see what Comerica Park can look like. I know, some people still want, Tiger Stadium. Sure. But Comerica Park can be a special place, especially when you have 40,000 plus in attendance to see it. And it just hasn't been that way. A decade of, mediocrity and a decade of not being able to catch a break and a decade of losing has pushed some people away. But for Miguel Cabrera's last hurrah, it was an awesome opportunity for folks to get back to the ballpark. And it was an awesome opportunity for people to see the Detroit Tigers fan base out in full force to witness this. And what I really liked, Miguel Cabrera came out and played in the field, right? Played there at first base. Here is the call from Dan Dickerson yesterday as he fields the ground out and gets the put out there at first.
Ground ball to first. Backhanded by Cabrera. Crosses the bag with his left foot. 1 out in the 8th. Of course. The ball will always find you. And Miguel Cabrera gets the first ground ball, the first ball put in play to make the out at first. And that's it. Unbelievable.
An all-world talent that played for so long here in Detroit. And I thought that everything about this weekend was just awesome. So I wanted to go back and play Dan's home run call, the solo shot in the second inning against the Royals from a couple nights ago.
Another inning of work. Again, he has been a starter this year, and he might just keep going as long as he gets out. Fly ball, deep right center field. Way back in right center. Gone! Number 511 for Miguel Cabrera. Deep to right center. Oh, look at him rounding third. Shooting the arrow into the dugout.
Just an awesome final week. And sure, that was, against the Royals. And I know that, it's just a series ago or whatever, but it just, it felt right to play number 511. And for Miguel Cabrera, yesterday he was 0 for 3, drew a walk, struck out twice. He said that after striking out twice, he felt as if, the walk was the best thing ever. His post-game interviews were sensational. You could tell how much all of this meant to him. You could tell the emotions that were running through him and Tigers fans, just following along with Tigers fans on Twitter to have his family there, his kids introduce him. I thought that was a really awesome touch by the organization, bringing his kids up and in doing that, and a little bit of Miggy's post game here in the clubhouse.
Emotion like for you?
Unique. I was kind of lost in the game because I can't focus. I can't try to have a plan in the home plane. I was swinging everything because I want to do something, but that's not the way I hit. So I made a mistake, swing everything, but it was great.
Was it more emotional
And you could hear him. He said, "I went to home play without a plan. I went there without a plan. That's not me. Like, I swung at everything. Of course, he wanted to make something happen. That's human nature. And obviously, when you get into the clubhouse, it gets a little ruckus in there. A lot of background noise. Here he is on the field talking and addressing the fans there at Comerica Park.
Miguel, as you look around this ballpark right now, you hear this crowd. You've had the ovation. What are your emotions in this moment?
Wow. Say thank you is not enough. I want to say thank you to the city of Detroit, the Tigers organization, my teammates, my managers, my local area. I'm sorry for today, but it was a lot of pressure. It was I think, it was the hardest game I ever played in my career. My focus, it was out. I was swing everything they throw me, but it's okay.
Got him a little ice bath there. He's trying to do his interview, a little Gatorade bath. These darn kids always trying to do something.
Gotta be you, Badu. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I want to miss you guys. I want to miss this game. Thank you very much, everything you guys do for me. This ride, it was awesome. Thank you very much, and see you later. I'm out.
And that's Miguel Cabrera. I mean, that is his personality. That is his, when you think about all the fun antics, I forget whose hand it is, but the opposing player is up at first base. He's trying to get a lead off, and Miguel just kind of reaches out and grabs his hand and is standing there holding his hand. I mean, that's the way that he played the game. And there was a reason that he was so many Tigers fans, they used to do that. That's my Tiger. He was the guy, to have his family there in attendance and watching, and everything that the game of baseball has done for him, and everything that he's done for the game of baseball. We're talking about an all-time great that we were able to celebrate on the way out. And although I'm not the biggest fan of the retirement tour, if you will, it is nice to know. It is nice to know that, hey, this is it. We know that this is it. He gave us a few moments. We know that he's not the same player that he was. I don't know if you saw what the Tigers had tweeted out yesterday. It was the year-by-year pictures of Miguel Cabrera through 21 seasons, and you see that first picture of him in that Marlins uniform, and it's like, wow, he looks like he's about 12 years old. And then to see, how far he's come and what that career looks like, just really special. A really special weekend there for him and for Tigers fans everywhere. And if you want to share your thoughts, you can text the keyword sports radio, send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 866-838-4843. It's a time of celebration, but it's also sad, and for a 2-time MVP, a 12-time All-Star, 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, 7-time Silver Slugger, 4-time batting title champion, 2-time Major League Player of the Year, a World Series champion. The guy had done it all. a career WAR of 67.3, a career batting average of 306. His OBP was 382. His slugging was 518. His OPS was 901. Like, he was everything. You talk about a career, like, he did it all. And, the 4 consecutive Central championships that this team had won in the division, and you wish that they would have been more competitive, that these games would have meant, more. But at the same time, I don't know if that would have been possible after what this organization had been through. And I think that when you look at how and what this game was yesterday, and sure, it was Miguel Cabrera's celebration day, if you will. But you look at the way that this team had played especially down the stretch. Like, they were in, the Tigers went, 18-10, I believe, the month of September. That's pretty damn good. And I think that although yesterday was emotional for a lot of different reasons, when you start to think about how this team had played, 18-10 from September 1st through the end of the season, gave up the fewest runs in the American League over that span. It does kind of feel like they are right there. They finished 78-84 on the year, 37-44 at home. It's the best record the team has had in 7 years, dating back to 2016. Finishing second place in the Central, also their best divisional finish since 2016. And, I'll put it this way. Like, this team right here, as we say goodbye, and you might be emotional, that's why I said last week it's a little bittersweet, right? Because you know that this is the end of Miguel Cabrera's career. It's also kind of the closing of this chapter, if you will, of Detroit Tigers baseball. Because I fully expect, like, they will get a break at some point. We really haven't gotten a break in the last decade. And they will. They will. And you look at this division, and sure, everybody's going to make their moves in the offseason. Everybody's going to try to improve their club. They always do. But with what this team has coming back that's already on their roster, I mean, you think about the Tigers and the Guardians this season. The Tigers were 9-4 against the Gardos this year. Series victory. Like this right here. Miguel Cabrera was the last active player to have played against the Montreal Expos. Wow. That goes back. That's how long it's been. I think you look at this club right here, and the expectation should be fully for them to win the division next season. Cleveland's going to be Cleveland. They're going to have to change managers. Terry Francona, that's a big deal. Like, Tito's a beloved figure there in Cleveland. It was his last game as well. So congratulations to Terry Francona on a wonderful career as well. I don't think Minnesota's anything to write home about. We know that Kansas City's an absolute disaster. So for me, when I look at this, and the White Sox, I mean, my God, the White Sox were 61-101 this year. Kansas City was 56-106. Cleveland was 76-86. Detroit was 78-84. And then 87-75. 9 games ahead of them were the Minnesota Twins. Especially when you get Casey Mize back, Riley Green coming back, another year for these guys. Like, I think the expectation is playoff. I absolutely do. The expectation is playoff for the Detroit Tigers in 2024. Big year for them. Big year. Like 90 wins sort of year or more. I think that's fair. I think it's reasonable. And I also think it's hopeful. Right? And I think that what we've seen now is that all 4 teams, and I was talking to a friend, Brandon Dent there of Woodward Sports at the Red Wings game on, Saturday night. Like, all 4 teams have such a good young core of these kids that are really shaping the foundation of Detroit sports for the next decade. I saw somebody talking about Aiden Hutchinson recently in the hometown discount. And I'm like, dude, let's just enjoy what we have. Right? And you could see it with the Lions. You're seeing it currently. You could see it with the Red Wings. I know it's the preseason, but yeah, playoffs. Tough division, playoffs. I think Alex DeBrincat's better than anybody thought he was. I think he's way better than what we thought he was, but we'll get into that. I think that when you look at Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Asar Thompson, like there's your core four right there. And it feels like each organization has a core four of young guys that are 3 years or less in the league, first contract, like right there, ready to rock and roll. And that's why, as we say goodbye to Miguel Cabrera, although that's difficult to lose the best player that's ever put on the jersey. Yeah, probably. I know Ty Cobb, we get it, but that was the game's a little different now. Best modern era player to ever put on the jersey. It's that's a tough loss for Tigers fans, and for the last however many years, this is the guy that people in our age frame, like Ben, like Ryan, like myself, like this is the guy that he was coming here to help turn things around. The early 2000s were not kind to this Detroit Tigers team, to this franchise. And slowly but surely, you saw some characters come and go, the Gambler, Pudge, Placido, we could go on and on. But you look at what Miguel Cabrera meant to this franchise, to this organization, and to say goodbye to him is the bitter part. The sweet part of it is that we all know that we are now turning the page to the next chapter in whatever this franchise is going to write, which is hopefully that the young kids that we've spent so much time waiting for every year. Well, you got this guy's in Erie, and this guy's in West Michigan, and this guy's in Toledo. And now it's finally going to start to come, hopefully, full circle. Hopefully they'll be able to get to the big leagues and stay there without injury. And we'll be able to, kind of shift this thing into gear now. What a great year, such a great drafting over the last 5 years. The kids are blooming. We really have a good catcher. Young stud pitching, an ace, young talent pushing at every position. We'll see what happens with Eduardo. We will. I mean, we have time to figure out what Eduardo Rodriguez, opting out is what it seems like he's going to do. Talked about wanting to stay in Detroit. That's kind of why we wanted to trade him, so we get something in return. But, if he likes Detroit, maybe there's a way they can rework that deal. I don't foresee him wanting to take less money, especially after the year that he had. But we can worry about all that, as the weeks and months come of the offseason. But for right now, a great way for Miguel Cabrera to say goodbye on the field to the Detroit Tigers fan base. And I hope that you were able to take in a portion of that game yesterday, and if not yesterday, it's at some point over the weekend to say goodbye to number 24. And what he means to this organization. And I can't imagine it's going to take very long for that statue to be erected, for that number, for that name to end up on the wall, because that is an all-time talent that we at least had the year to be able to celebrate, to know that, hey, this is it for him. We'll step aside. Hour number 2 is coming up next. MLB's postseason. Hey, the bracket's set. We'll give you all the details on that. We'll get into college football as well. Don't go anywhere. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my good friend Matt Golden. Now, he's the CEO and GM at the Tullymore Golf Resort. They're in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids. And fall golf is here, and they have some huge deals you can take advantage of on stay-and-play packages, tee times, and more. Just go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymoregolf.com. Also, if you want to book a Christmas party for the holidays, you want to squeeze in a business meeting with some golf and great food and beverages, Matt Golden and his team can take care of you right now. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. They're also booking big groups who want stay-and-play packages, or maybe you just want to look ahead to the perfect weekend in 2024. Remember, Tullymore is less than an hour north of GR in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. Book your stay-and-play package or get more info now at tullymoregolf.com.
Hey, sports fans, here's a hanging curveball that you can knock out of the ballpark. This is Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball, inviting you to step up to the plate at Eagle Casino and Sports, the mobile sports book where you can bet on all your favorites all year round, including, of course, our national pastime. So download the app and start winning today. The Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan. Must be 21 years or older and in Michigan to play.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
Merc Perks from Mercantile Bank is here. Merc Perks checking has all you need to plan your busy lifestyle. Travel services for hotels, airfare, and cruises, cash back rewards, and even savings on prescriptions, eyewear, and dental work. Merc Perks also includes all the traditional benefits you love, like online and mobile banking, and fee-free access to almost 40,000 MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merc is here. Learn more at mymercperks.com, member FDIC.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
Later today at 3, it's the Huge Show right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Monday morning to you. It is the second day of October, 2023. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 866-838-4843, 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox, and you can find us all individually on Twitter. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. Ben Glaze is at TheBenGlaze, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. All right, what's going on in the world of sports? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news. I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
The Mets have fired Buck Showalter after their disappointing season in which they punted three-quarters of the way through, sending away Scherzer and Verlander. Poor Frankie Lindor. If only he would have been a Tiger. The Braves went deep 2 times, tied the MLB record for 307 home runs this year, 307. So congratulations to the Atlanta Braves, who just, got off to a torrid start and never looked back. The Tampa Bay Rays' Yandy Diaz won the AL batting title over the Texas Rangers' Corey Seager with a .330 average. Diaz trailed Seager by a mere percentage point heading into Sunday's game, with Seager at .329.8 and Diaz at .329.5. And then Diaz sat out because the AL is the top wildcard team, so he was a spectator from the bench. The Rangers still trying to win the AL West. Seager went 0 for 4, dropped down to .327. So how about that? Luis Arias won the batting title with a .354 average in the NL, the highest in a full season since the Rangers' Josh Hamilton batted .359 back in 2010. Arias had just one at-bat, collected a hit since he aggravated an ankle injury back on September 23rd. Ronald Acuna finished a distant second with a .337 average. So congratulations to him, even though he had an NL best 217 hits this season. Late fumble wastes the bounce-back effort from the Jets' Zach Wilson. Fumbled at midfield with 7:24 remaining. 23-20 was the final score in the loss. The Kansas City Chiefs won. Debate over a late flag there in that game, with Kansas City being the beneficiary of the call, because of course they are. Also, we know that Travis Kelce's dating Taylor Swift. I haven't really talked about it because there's nothing to really talk about. I'm not overly impressed with Taylor Swift. I don't know if it's a business decision or not, but it's not my cup of tea. So good for him. Let's keep it moving. We don't need to pan the cameras to Taylor Swift nonstop throughout the course of a game. Here's an idea. Maybe you put that on Peacock or on ESPN Plus or whatever streaming service, and it's just a camera of her throughout the game. What if we did that? And then all the Swifties can boost your subscription numbers. Bills are fearing a torn Achilles for Tre'Davious White. Boy, that would be bad news there. Another Achilles injury in the NFL? What's going on out here? Mac Jones was pulled amid his dismal game, but will remain the Patriots starter. That was an absolute thrashing, 38-3 to the hands of the Cowboys. Who would have thought Mike McCarthy beat Bill Belichick like that? 49ers Christian McCaffrey making his MVP case, 4 touchdowns in the rout. They had a 35-16 win against the Arizona Cardinals, and the MVP award has been given to a quarterback for each of the past 10 seasons. McCaffrey piled up 177 yards from scrimmage, scored 4 times and set a franchise record for the most consecutive games with at least 1 touchdown, 13 including the playoffs. That's crazy. Good for him. Good for the 49ers. Bad for the rest of the league. Speaking of, Hall of Fame-worthy games, how about Khalil Mack? 6 sacks in the Chargers win over the Raiders. By himself. By himself, he had 6 sacks. It's a 24-17 win over the Raiders. Good for the Bolts. Happy for them. Portland Trailblazers traded all-star guard Drew Holiday to the Boston Celtics on Sunday. The Celtics are sending Robert Williams III, Malcolm Brogdon in the deal. They also are going to send a 2024 first-round pick via Golden State. A 2029 first-round pick is also headed to the Blazers, according to sources. And how about all that? After trading away Damian Lillard, the overall haul, I thought, was really good. Look, Holiday's 33 years old. It's an interesting move here by the Celtics now with Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, Holiday, Tatum, and Brown. And the Blazers are expected to try to keep Williams, the pair with their new center, DeAndre Ayton. But man alive, like they got a pretty good return for one player in Damian Lillard. And that's why I didn't understand any of this chatter about how Portland did Damian Lillard wrong. When Dame got traded to Milwaukee, Milwaukee improved to have the best odds to win a championship in 2024. The best odds. But, he didn't get traded to the place that he wanted to go. So all of a sudden the Portland Trailblazers are... Dude, the Portland Trailblazers have a legitimate business that they're trying to run. And if you think for 1 second that Damian Lillard is more important than the future of the franchise, then you are a part of the problem, not a part of the solution. This whole player empowerment thing and, the players, this is the owners getting back at the players. This is the owners looking out for their business. Like, you could tell who owns a business and who doesn't, and who has any business sense and who doesn't by quickly scrolling on the internet. That's all it takes. That's literally all it takes. Like, you're not going to do what's in the best interest of your business long term because you want to make one guy happy, a guy that you drafted that you paid to play for you. Are you, what? You out of your mind? It didn't matter where they sent him, but they sent him to a team with the best foreign-born player to play the game on the roster. Like, what are we talking about here? It's ridiculous. Every comment I read, I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? That's why you don't own anything right there. That's why. That's why. Good luck with your entrepreneurship there, Chief. Red Wings were a 6-1 winner yesterday over the Chicago Blackhawks. Don't look now, but the Red Wings are 3-1 in the preseason. I know it's the preseason, but my goodness, they look good. Holy jumping. JT Compher got in the scoring. Rasmussen had a couple. Soderblom had one. Sprong had one. All in all, really good game. Really good game. So good for this club right now as it looks like, and that top line, boy, that top line is going to be fierce. I'm going to tell you this right now. I think Alex DeBrincat's better than whatever we thought he was. And paired with Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin, it's go time. I'm a believer. I know it's preseason, but I'm a believer. New AP Top 25 is out. Georgia's 1, Michigan 2, Texas 3, Ohio State 4, Florida State is 5. Penn State is in at 6. So you have 3 Big Ten teams in the top 10 and then not another Big Ten team anywhere to be found. Woof. Washington, Oregon, USC, and Notre Dame round out the top 10 with Alabama on the outside looking in at number 11 and Oklahoma at 12. We'll get a great matchup between number 3 Texas and number 12 Oklahoma coming up this week. That'll be a lot of fun. Iowa starting quarterback Cade McNamara did not return to Saturday night's 26-16 win over Michigan State. Suffered a left knee injury in the first half. He went to cut, and that thing just popped, and then that was that. Tim Wakefield, the former knuckleballer for the Boston Red Sox, has passed away at the age of 57. Boy, it's just way, way, way too young right there. 57 is way too young. The Detroit Tigers said goodbye to Miguel Cabrera and did so in fashion yesterday with a 5-2 victory. The Tigers will finish off the season 78-84, their best record and best divisional finish since 2016. Second in the division, 78-84 overall. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Could give it hope for the future. That's all we want. USA got absolutely dominated in the Ryder Cup. Just a pathetic performance by the Americans. Congratulations to the Europeans, I guess. Whatever. We look completely dysfunctional. And Canelo Alvarez just absolutely put on a show against Jermell Charlo. Easy sparring session for him. Retains his undisputed title over the weekend. We'll step aside. Back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
We played for the thrill, that rush you feel with the game on the line. I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver. Now, with Eagle Casino and Sports, the new sportsbook app from Soaring Eagle, anywhere I'm at, I'm still in the game.
Sign up now and get up to $1,000. That's right, up to $1,000 for a risk-free bet on your next favorite underdog, parlay, or prop.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTab at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Sizzling steak giveaway. Not giveaway, but sizzling steak. What was it called? Oh, shoot. I know my friend Joe. He just booked it at the beautiful Tullymore Golf Resort. Sizzling Sundays over at Tullymore. One of the hottest deals. The final few weeks of fall golf. But right now until October 14th, you can get a very limited quantity of these sizzling Sunday packages for just $199. Enjoy 18 holes on Sunday, followed up by a delicious steak dinner. Food is sensational. Drinks are sensational. Accommodations, fabulous. You stay overnight and then get 18 more holes on Monday. This would normally be priced over $300. And you can get it for $199 right now at the beautiful Tullymore Golf Resort. So if you got a case of the Mondays, you got room for a little bit of a sick day, call my friend Matt Golden right now, 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Or visit tullymoregolf.com, tullymoregolf.com. My buddy Joe from Outkick the Coverage, friend of the show, he's booked his sizzling Sunday. You should do it too, and then you should also read his screen caps every day. Can we get the AB Top 10? That will come out on Wednesday. The AB Top 25 will be out. There will be some moving and some shaking based upon what we saw in college football this weekend. I get a little bit more homework to do. That's why I put it out on Wednesday. Got kind of a busy schedule, running around like crazy. You know, we got big sale going on, Danny's Fine Foods, for our new listeners and our new stations in Northern Michigan, 93.7 FM WKAD and 1340 AM and 104.7 FM WMBM, covering basically all of northern and northwestern Michigan and the southern portion of the UP. Good morning to all of you. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you. But yes, I double not only as a radio host and game day employee for a multitude of teams, but I also cut meat. I work as a butcher. I know, it sounds ridiculous. I am well aware of that. People look at me like I have 5 eyes when I say that. All right. We've got a lot of stuff going on. That's why it comes out on Wednesday. That's why it's out on Wednesday. But you know what we do have going on? I know that I'm excited for it. It's that time of year, folks. MLB's postseason is back. Now is the time you can buckle up and lock in. No more ghost runners at second and extra innings, folks. Oh, no. Oh, no. Getting ready for the Fall Classic. Doesn't that make you just want to hit your hand in your glove when you hear this? Make you want to walk around in some Levi's that are probably 2 sizes too small, some Chuck Taylors, white tee with a Dodgers cap, maybe an Old English D. Wooden bat over your shoulder. Yeah, I know Ryan's not in his head right now. He's probably packing in a big wad of Big Chief. The best. It's great. Playoff field is set, folks. Time for the wild card rounds in the AL. AL Wild Card Series starts tomorrow. The number 1 seed, Baltimore Orioles. What? And the Houston Astros. They're 1 and 2. They got buys. The best of 3 format. All games are at the higher seed. You'll get the Blue Jays at the Twinkies. Game 1 is tomorrow, 4:38. Game 2 is Wednesday, 4:38. Game 3, if necessary, Thursday, 4:38. All 3 of those games between the 6-seeded Blue Jays and the 3-seeded Twins taking place on ESPN. At 3:08, just an hour and a half prior to that, the 5th-seeded Rangers on the road against the 4th-seeded Rays over on ABC. All right, let's do it. Why not? The NL Wild Card Series, which also starts Tuesday. The 1 seed is the Atlanta Braves. The 2 seed, the LA Dodgers. Both of them have buys. Same deal. That's the 3 format, all at the higher seeds. Tuesday at 7:08, it'll be the Diamondbacks, the 6 seed, at the Brew Crew, the 3 seed. That's on ESPN2 at 7:08. All three of their games, 7:08 Eastern Time. All three of their games over on ESPN2. And then over on Big ESPN, the 5th-seeded Marlins against the 4-seed Philadelphia Phillies. All three of these games will be at 8:08, and all three of these games will be on Big ESPN. Then we'll get into the divisional series, which will start Saturday. In the best-of-5 format, you'll have the Rays or Rangers against the Orioles, Twins or Blue Jays against the Astros, and over in the NL, Phillies or the Marlins against the Braves, with the Brewers and the Diamondbacks going to L.A. to take on the Dodgers. Oh, man. It's going to be really hard not to pick one of the high seeds here. It's going to be really hard for me not to go and pick up an L.A. Dodgers fitted real quick. I don't know. It's just a great logo. You know, there's some sports teams that have great logos. Great logos. In fact, the Game did a song about the baseball caps and the logos and whatnot, if you're interested in that. But it's going to be real hard. Like the LA from the LA Dodgers is iconic. I mean, that's Detroit Old English D. Iconic. The Twins, nah. The Brewers, although creative with the M and the B in the glove. The Atlanta A. The Texas T. The Tampa Bay. I almost got a Tampa Bay hat because it's my initials. Kind of, sort of. I don't. How do you pick against the Dodgers? How do you do that? That's what I want to know. How are you going to be able to do it? I'm not going to be able to do it. But I am excited for postseason baseball. It's a little bit different. A little bit different in the postseason. You know, you can't tell me, you know, every pitch matters when it's like June 3rd. This one here, you throw one cantaloupe at the plate, sayonara, sweetheart. Man, will the Braves be able to do it over on the NL side? Like, look, I could see the Phillies beating the Marlins. I could see that. I could see the Atlanta beating the Phillies. I could see the Brew Crew beating the Diamondbacks, then the Dodgers beating the Brewers, and then L.A. and Atlanta. I'm having a real hard time trying to pick between those. If we had to do a World Series prediction, I'm having a real hard time between the Dodgers and the Braves. Over on the AL side, I'm going Rays over Rangers because the Rays are weird like that. I'm going to go Blue Jays over Twins. I don't want to see the Twins. Just get them out of here. See you later. Give me Vlad Guerrero Jr., multiple bombs in the wild card round. Give me that. Then Houston against, you know, how are you going to pick against Houston? I can't. So I would go with Houston over the Blue Jays. But maybe the Blue Jays could, you know, get squirrely. Let's get weird. Rays, Stros, Astros representing the AL. Again, kind of gross. Dodgers, Astros? Oh, I hate that. I don't like that pick at all. Let me redo that. Let me go Rays. See, if I pick 7 different combinations, by the time we get to the World Series, I'll be able to say, oh, remember I picked them. All right? That's I'm building in a safeguard here, folks. I got some padding here. I got some cushioning. I'm bubble wrapping my picks. That's what I'm doing. I'm stuffing them all in bubble wrap. I don't know. Ryan, what do you think? Ben, you got any picks on here? Who you got going to the World Series? That's all I want to know. Silence is deafening.
Sorry, I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know who to pick. I kind of think this might be Tampa Bay again. But if the Blue Jays can get past the Twins, and then the Blue Jays could upset the Astros, that's a win for Canada, right? And although, you know, Canada's redoing all their media, so if you're going to have a podcast, you have to register your podcast now with the Canadian government. What in the Stalin is going on up there? Their universal health care. What's happening up there? We're going to be getting it from both ends, folks. We're going to get a rush from the southern border that's taking place right now. Canadians are going to be fleeing. And you know what? Gordie Howe Bridge is almost done. So if you don't want to Tarzan across the unfinished portion, you just wait till it's done. Come on over. Bring your hockey players, too. We'll take them. We got to boost our hockey IQ here. I'd love to see Toronto. I would. I think Vlad Guerrero Jr. with Toronto, I think that'd be a really fun story. Give everybody there in the CN Tower something to look at. That'd be great. If it's the Rays, I'm cool with that. I just really don't want to see Houston again. I'm over Houston. If it's L.A., if it's Atlanta, either one I'm fine with. But no more Houston Astros. We'll step aside. College football next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. He is a managing partner at Br0's, soon to be Dorn Mayhew, and they'll be stronger together. And did you know Br0 can help your business with outsourcing your payroll and other business needs? That can help ease tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. Just go to Br0.com to find out more how they can help your payroll system and make your workplace that much smoother. Go to Br0.com. That's BEENEGARTR.com, and they can help you with all your payroll needs. Like I mentioned, tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. All your payroll needs can be handled by the team at Br0. Find out more at Br0.com.
I'm Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball.
I'm Herman Moore, and football is my game.
So we know a few things about sports.
And the passion of Detroit fans.
That's why we're big fans of Eagle Casino and Sports.
It's the mobile sports book that lets you bet on action all year long.
Right from your mobile device. Eagle Casino and Sports.
Made in Michigan. Made for Michigan.
Download the app and start winning today. Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
Join Van Andel Institute Purple Community for the Be Brave 5K Walk and Run in Caledonia on October 7th at 8 a.m. You can participate in a day of fun and exercise, all while supporting breast cancer research at Van Andel Institute. Register at vai.org. Coming up later today at 3, huge opinions on everything I want to talk about. It's the Huge Show at 3 on the Michigan Sports Network.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
DraftKings Sportsbook keeping us in on the action with great offers every single game day. New customers can bet $5 on football. Get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Sign up using the promo code HUGE. That's promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. And, of course, they're going to have you covered with all of baseball's postseason action as well. Now, if you or somebody who has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus. Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Be sure to text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Meijer Supercenter guest line 866-838-4843. 866-838-4843. You can tweet at us at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And if you miss any portion of the show, you can always find our podcast on Google, Apple, Spotify, and, of course, the iHeartRadio app. Good morning to our newest affiliates. 93.7 FM, WKAD in Cadillac, Traverse City, Houghton Lake, Manistee, Kalkaska. 1340 AM, 104.7 FM, WMBM, Petoskey, Charlevoix, Bel Air, Boyne City, Northport, Gaylord, Lewiston, the Southern UP. It's great to be with you. Good morning to all of you. An absolute pleasure. You all have a very special place in my heart. And thank you for welcoming all the people that are in Southern Michigan, that's south of Zilwaukee, the Zilwaukee Bridge there. Thank you for welcoming us with open arms to all the great things that Northern Michigan has to offer. All right. Now, a couple of text messages here. Braves versus Texas. Bochy wins again. 4 World Series rings. Best manager with Joe Torre over the last 50-plus years. Okay. Braves, Rangers. Ryan says Tampa and Atlanta. I like that. Tampa and Atlanta. I like that a lot. I think that'd be great. Somebody check on Joe with those loser Bengals. Wow, which team does that person root for, says Joe. I just tweeted out that, Joe, they're coming after you early. Prior to 7:45 in the morning, he's already taken strays. Now, let's talk a little college football, shall we? Let's do a little what took place this weekend. Because I heard some things, folks. I heard some things on the internet. You know what they say, if it's on the internet, it must be true. But I don't believe that for a second. If you were tuned in to a pregame show, you heard some slander, unlike anything you've heard in years. I was shocked. I was appalled for all the time that I get called a homer or a Michigan slappy, and I got to defend Gus Johnson, and I got to defend Charles Woodson, and I got to defend Desmond Howard. You mean to tell me that Fox has put this guy on national television to spew this sort of outrageous, outlandish, dishonest, misinformed bullwash? I will not stand for it.
The Wolverines have played a schedule that's not very good. If you play bad schedules, I've been there before, you don't get better. If you're the same team in October you were in September, you're not a very good team. I believe in Matt Rule. I believe in Nebraska. We saw they should have beat Minnesota. If you don't turn the ball over here a couple weeks ago, they're right in that game. Don't turn the ball over. Let that 3-3-5 defense play. They got good players on defense. I think it's going to be a close game in Lincoln.
I don't know if I see it that way. I mean, look, both great rush defense. That's one thing we know. The line of scrimmage battle is going to be interesting. To me, it really comes down to if Nebraska, with Heinrich Harburg at quarterback, can make enough big plays in the passing game. Because we know J.J. McCarthy can. And I don't know that the Nebraska secondary can match up with guys like Roman Wilson, who's right now leading the Big Ten in touchdown reception. So I think that's where this game gets a little bit out of hand, is the bigger plays in the passing game. And J.J. McCarthy, as he starts to kind of build up, maybe kind of fly under the radar for the Heisman hype. But as Michigan moves along, keep an eye on J.J. McCarthy. He's starting to get more of that hype.
Urban Meyer. Guy despises Michigan. Jim Harbaugh lives in his mind because Harbaugh went to an NFC Championship game and Urban Meyer won like 3 games in Jacksonville before being hired. Maybe it's because Urban Meyer played in the NFL. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because Urban Meyer beat the hell out of Michigan. That could be too. But you think it's going to be a close game in Lincoln? You smoking crack?
Wolverines have played a schedule that's not very good. If you play bad schedules, I've been there before, you just don't get better. If you're the same team in October you were in September, you're not a very good team. I believe in Matt Rule. I believe in Nebraska. We saw they should have beat Minnesota. If you don't turn the ball over here a couple weeks ago, they're right in that game. Don't turn the ball over and let that 3-3-5 defense play. They got good players on defense. I think it's going to be a close game in Lincoln.
They should have beat Minnesota. And then with the Golden Gophers or Georgia all of a sudden? Are they Oklahoma? Are they Texas? Are they the U? They should have beat Minnesota. Ooh. Oh, wow. We're going to beat Minnesota this week for the Little Brown Jug. That's what's going to happen. We're going to send PJ Fleck packing. And we, like I speak French, like I got a mouse in my pocket. We, like I'm going out there and making tackles. You know, all this, and it's every single week with this guy. Every week. He cannot, I am the most fair and honest radio host in America. I have no problem ranking Ohio State top 5. I didn't have a problem acknowledging that they are the class of the Big Ten. I didn't have any issues talking about Ohio State being the best team in the conference or this being a one-team conference for a decade plus. I didn't have any problem doing that. I always say, don't hate them because you hate them, right? I'm not going to be mad at Ohio State for being better than my team and for being better than my team for a long time to the point where it was like, dude, are we ever going to win again? I was there. I lived through it. I know what it's like. But every single week, I got to take phone calls because Charles Woodson picks Michigan to win a game in which they're favored by 17? Oh, Desmond Howard. Desmond. What about Desmond Howard? He's a Heisman winner. What are you going to say to Desmond? Absolutely nothing. Super Bowl MVP. You're not going to say anything to him. You're going to ask him for an autograph and carry on with your life. That's what you're going to do. But I'm the one that, Gus Johnson does not. Oh, Gus Johnson's excited. Gus Johnson gets excited about Nebraska versus UTEP. That's the way he calls games.
Hurt my feelings.
Are you kidding me right now? With a blue wall. What blue wall? You're going to Nebraska as like a 20-whatever point favorite. And this guy's going to pick Nebraska in an outright upset? Are you smoking crack? I know you don't like Michigan, but for the love of God, the next person that comes to me and wants to throw one at me about, you're a homer, I'm going to tell him, look at that. Look at that. This guy can't even pick Michigan over Nebraska. That's how childish he is. He can't even do that. As a 27-point favorite, he can't take Michigan. He cannot say one good thing about Jim Harbaugh. He can't. Why? Because everywhere Urban Meyer goes, he leaves a program in shambles. That's what he does. With players being arrested, with coaches under controversy, with his hands up some young woman's crotch at a bar in Columbus when he didn't fly back on the team plane. And I got people telling me they want to bring that guy to the state of Michigan. No, thank you. Not at Michigan State, not at Michigan, not at Grand Valley, not at Lake Superior State, and hell no with the Detroit Lions. People wanted that guy with the Detroit Lions. They honestly said that. Bring Urban Meyer to Detroit. Are you nuts? That's what you want? Some guy that's running around kicking kickers? Professional kickers. Kicking them. You want that guy. That's incredible. That's incredible. I saw that. I said, I'd plaster this everywhere. Oh, you loser fan base. Shut up. What? What about it's a loser team? I'm not playing on the team, Chief. Worried about what the media says. I work in the media. Of course we're listening to what other media people are saying. It's like you working in the car industry and not paying attention to automotive news. You idiot. What's the matter with you? That's the power of the internet. Gave too many stupid people 280 characters to voice some dumb opinion about something that doesn't even matter. Take your worthless opinion somewhere else. You got to be nuts. Urban Meyer. And then the audacity after everything Michigan State has been through for some of these fans to want Urban. No, nobody wants him. Why do I keep seeing it then? If nobody wants him, why did I see an alumni over the weekend talking about hiring him doesn't matter? Why? Well, he wins, and that's what we need. Dude, what? Do I need to go find the picture of him like taking a snap from that young lady's groin at the bar when she was backing that thing up on Coach Herb? And he's just sitting there, hands all up in there, doing a little colonoscopy check there. What's the matter with you? After all you've been through, that's the direction you want to go. Why? Because he can beat Michigan. That's all that matters. So ridiculous. That's absolutely asinine. I got some pushback from some fans. Like, we don't really want Urban. Like, okay, well, talk to your friends. Talk to your friends then. Talk to your alumni. Talk to those people. Don't talk to me about it. I'm just on the outside looking in. You guys are nuts if that's what you want. Nuts. And the fact that he's on TV. And the part that I love about it is that, this is going to be a closer game. It should have beat Minnesota. 45-7 or 45-7. Last two Big Ten opponents, 76-14. Big thanks to the early touchdown from Rutgers on their first possession. That was cute. That was fun. And good thing for Nebraska getting that garbage time touchdown there in the fourth quarter. Congratulations with 4 minutes left in the game. Great. One play, 74 yards. House call. Sweet. And look, J.J. McCarthy's not going to win the Heisman. I appreciate Brady Quinn talking about it. He's not going to win the Heisman. He doesn't have the numbers. Doesn't have the stats. He was 12 of, now mind you, it's 95 degrees on Saturday in 1,000-mile-an-hour winds. It's like 30-mile-an-hour wind, realistically. I think that's what they said, 25 to 30-mile-an-hour. Benetti was on the call. I was listening to it because I was driving up to work in Detroit. It's just like, touchdown, interception, touchdown. I was like, what are we doing out there? J.J. McCarthy had 2 touchdowns through the air and a touchdown rushing. Khalil Mullins had 5 carries for 43 yards, the long going for 20 and a house call. So you have 4 carries for 23 yards. Remember, you take the long run that a running back has and subtract 1 carry in that long run. That'll give you a better look at what they were doing. He's still gaining 5 yards a carry. Donovan Edwards was running what seemed to be much harder, but still ended up with 14 carries and 48 yards. And Blake Corum, 16 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Like that's what's going on here. Roman Wilson had 4 catches for 58 yards, 2 touchdowns. I got to give credit to the kid from Bowling Green with the one-hander. That was nasty against Georgia Tech. And the Twitter team that said that they're 4-0 against teams dressed like Purdue. I thought that was kind of cool. But Roman Wilson with 2 more touchdown grabs, simply sensational. The first one where he jumped over top of the defender and caught it off his back. Like, got to get your head around, young fella. And it just continues to make big plays in the passing game. They don't do enough individually statistically for anybody to really garner any sort of individual awards here at Michigan, but it doesn't matter. It honestly does not matter. 240 yards on the ground, $187 through the air, 249 on the ground to be exact. Complete domination in Nebraska, 26-10 in first downs, 436 to 305 in total yards. No penalties in the game at all. The cleanest game of all time. 0 penalties. Nebraska penalized 4 times for 30 yards. Controlled the clock, 38 minutes of possession. Like, this is a dominant performance from Michigan. And one of those where you look at, like, okay, weather considered. That's one that makes me feel good. Like, how do you score 45 points against Nebraska but can't do that against Bowling Green, UNLV, or East Carolina? Now they'll take on Minnesota on the road Saturday night. 7:30 kickoff for the Little Brown Jug before returning home next Saturday against Indiana. And then the big one against Michigan State. Now let's get to Michigan State. I don't know. 26-16 loss. You lose to Iowa. Iowa lost their starting quarterback, Cade McNamara. Very, very unfortunate that happened. I know that I've been critical of his commentary. I have, because I don't think that some of the things he needed to say or that he said needed to be said, but at the same time, I don't wish injury upon anyone. There's too much on the line for these young men, and it's a very unfortunate circumstance for Cade McNamara to be injured again. I don't know what in the hell Michigan State's doing. The outgain Iowa 349 to 222. You have 20 first downs to their 15. You control the clock almost 34 minutes to 26. You have 4 turnovers in the football game. Like, I mean, I've seen people mailing it in. I've seen all kinds of very funny stuff. I do have to ask you this, though. What in God's green earth are you doing if you're Michigan State and it's 16-10 and you're playing the worst offense that has ever been organized in college football in the history of the game? Iowa's the worst offensive team ever. Ever. I would hate to be a Hawkeye fan. I mean, I get mad when J.J. McCarthy doesn't go for 200 yards. Imagine if your team can't get 200 yards. Why would you go for it on 4th and 1 at your own 30? They can't score. They can't move the football. So just punt it and play the field position game. And stop giving them the ball back. Like, you're down 10-9, interception. Iowa fumbles the ball. Cal Holiday picks it up, 42-yard pick 6 return. So you're up 16-10. Iowa comes back and throws a pick. Like, you got to be, like, one of the most disgusting football games I've seen. Holy jumping, was that bad. Poor Urban. Even I wouldn't spew that. They need him in a Michigan State so bad. You can't, dude, you cannot hire Urban Meyer with all of his baggage and everything that is attached with transgressions and women to a school that is trying to not get sued for wrongful termination for a head coach with a transgression against a woman. What ain't adding up here? You can't do it. I mean, you could. You could do it. You absolutely could. Trust me. You can do it. But just don't ever give me anything about you care about anything outside of winning ever again. Like, take character and punt that thing into the stands. Punt it over the press box. There's no way. You can't have that many arrests at Florida. You can't have assistant coaches going rogue with alleged domestic violence and you harboring him and then lying about it. You can't have a health scare every time there's a controversy. You can't go to Jacksonville, not take a team plane home. Like that, how do you want that guy? That's incredible to me. Hour 3 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my good friend Matt Golden. Now, he's the CEO and GM at the Tullymore Golf Resort. They're in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids. And fall golf is here, and they have some huge deals you can take advantage of on stay-and-play packages, tee times, and more. Just go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymore.golf.com. Also, if you want to book a Christmas party for the holidays, you want to squeeze in a business meeting with some golf and great food and beverages, Matt Golden and his team can take care of you right now. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. They're also booking big groups who want stay and play packages, or maybe you just want to look ahead to the perfect weekend in 2024. Remember, Tullymore is less than an hour north of GR in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. Book your stay and play package or get more info now at tullymoregolf.com.
Friday, October 27th, TVs and Practical Jokers are up to their usual tricks.
If you're not here, you are missing out.
It's the Tenderloins at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Sal, James, and Brian for 2 shows and twice the laughs. 7 and 10 p.m. Tickets start at $59. On sale now at the box office and etix.com. Don't miss the Drive Tour with the Tenderloins, October 27th. Party hard, laugh louder. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
He hasn't made a putt all day, but if he makes this one, we're all cracking a Labatt.
Hold it. Did you say if your buddy makes this putt, we're all cracking a Labatt? How about a Labatt Blue Light?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, you can do it!
It's a left-to-right break, just outside the cup, a touchdown hill.
Appreciate the support. You guys mind if I putt now?
Oh, yeah, sure. Best putt ever.
Because making the big shot is better with a big crowd. Labatt takes everything to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer 2023, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt Regulations, U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Limited. Hey, buddy, where's my Labatt Blue Light? He made the putt, for crying out loud. I want my Labatt Blue Light.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny Bey to Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Spotty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown. Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end. Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Monday morning to you. It's Monday, the best day of the week. Now is the time to set the tone for how the rest of your week is going to go. You got to attack the day with enthusiasm unknown to mankind. As we welcome you back here, hour number 3 of X's and Bros here on the Michigan Sports Network. Ben Glaze, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us. No matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 866-838-4843. 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. xpmornings@gmail.com is the fan feedback email inbox, and you can find us all individually on Twitter. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. Ben Glaze is at the Ben Glaze, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. All right, what's going on in the world of sports? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news. I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Saturday night, Saul Canelo Alvarez beat Jermell Charlo to retain his undisputed title. Charlo moved up in weight. Charlo looked like he was there for a paycheck. I'm not going to lie. Canelo looked so good in this fight, he could have fought 12 more rounds afterwards. Unanimous decision. Easy work for Canelo. Dominated the whole fight. I don't know if anybody's beating him right now. He said it after the fight. He's like, nobody's beating this Canelo. And his interviews are hilarious. He talks just like my buddy Gion's grandma. Very, very limited English. And the English that he does, I love it. I want more Canelo post-fight interviews, please. Team Europe beat Team USA 16.5 to 11.5. And I'll tell you this. One of the most embarrassing performances from Team USA, not only did they get smoked out there, but you had a player, Patrick Cantley, boycotting the hat because he wanted to be paid to go to this free trip to Europe to play golf to represent his country. Like, greed, selfishness. That's us. That's us as Americans. That's how the rest of the world sees us. Super liberal, greedy capitalists that, don't like. It's just the whole thing, completely embarrassing. I don't know how you fix it. I really don't. You haven't won on foreign soil in 3 decades. And it's, I'm happy for Europe. I am. I'm happy for Victor Hovland and John Rahm. I'm happy for Rory McIlroy. I'm happy for Sepp Straka and Shane Lowry and Tommy Fleetwood. They deserve to win. We don't. And so go back to the drawing board and find a team that wants to be there. Whether you automatically qualify or not, if you're not going to wear the team hat because you want to get paid and you're going to boycott, that should be an immediate suspension from all Ryder Cup activities. You've been banned for life if you're going to act like this. You don't want, hey, Michael Jordan, Last Dance. You want to play that way? Don't play that way. Get out of here. Patrick Cantley is now number 2 behind Patrick Reed as the most dislikable players on the face of the planet, regardless of sport. The Detroit Tigers waved goodbye to Miguel Cabrera over the weekend. I want to congratulate the Detroit Tigers organization. My guy Stan Fracker and the crew did an absolutely dynamite job presentation-wise. The fans showed up. Everything was perfect. And they take a lot of heat sometimes for not necessarily digging in on the tradition there and missing out on some of the historical stuff, but they did an awesome job at Comerica Park this weekend. I'm so glad that the fans are there. Also, goodbye to Terry Francona as well. That was his last Major League game, and two greats for Major League Baseball in their own right. And for Miguel Cabrera, 0 for 3 with a walk in his final game, did get the put out as he went out there to first base to ground that ball. An all-time classic call from Dan Dickerson. Might have to add it to a new montage to begin the show. Might have to do that. Former Red Sox knuckleballer Tim Wakefield has passed away at the age of 57. He was battling a diagnosis of cancer, according to Curt Schilling, that Curt Schilling was not supposed to share. I don't know what's going on there. Schilling's off the rails. Iowa quarterback Cade McNamara was carted off the field with a left leg injury. If you saw it, it was gruesome. He planted and it looked like his knee exploded. 26-16 was the final score. They beat Michigan State. I'm sorry, Michigan State fans, you have to go through this. Yeah, well, it's a terrible season. Terrible. And the next hire has got it. You got to get the next hire right, because if not, it is going to put the team back a decade. I've seen it. I've lived through it. It happened. Happened to my club. It will happen from time to time. It happened to Ohio State for a year with Luke Fickell. He just wasn't ready. Just wasn't ready. And I'll tell you this much. If you're a Michigan State fan today, I did see our friend Justin Rose said, don't emotionally attach yourself. You could probably detach yourself at this point. I think that's safe to say. I wouldn't stop being a supporter. I need to learn more about this Spartan Dog for Life NIL thing that the major contributor canceled all of his football NIL deals effective immediately. Like what? I need to know what's going on there. Got to get somebody. I'll probably call Chris Solari and see if he can't join us. Yeah, that poor guy. Jeez Louise. AP Top 25. Georgia's number 1, Michigan 2, Texas 3, Ohio State 4, Florida State 5. Big Ten also got Penn State in at number 6. 7, 8, and 9 were all Pac-12 teams. Washington, Oregon, and USC. And Notre Dame rounds out the top 10. That's pretty interesting. Oh, the brand's always been better than the football there anyways. Duke. What are we doing? What are we doing, Duke? How does that happen? Detroit Red Wings improved to 3-1 in the preseason after a 6-1 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. More on that team coming up later. But I'll tell you this much. I think Alex DeBrincat is better than anyone expected. I think he's better than anyone thought. And I think that him being on a line with Raymond and Larkin, my goodness. Boston Celtics have added Drew Holiday in a trade with the Blazers. Here are the deets. The Celtics sent Robert Williams III, a.k.a. the Time Lord, and guard Malcolm Brogdon in the deal. A 2024 first-round pick via Golden State, a 2029 first-round pick is also heading to the Blazers. I mean, talk about making out. My goodness. I mean, the Blazers got a lot of here. They got Scoot Henderson. They got Shaden Sharp. They got Anthony Simons. Like, you have Jeremy Grant. Like, the Blazers did what the Blazers needed to do. And you know what that was? That was get rid of Damian Lillard because he wanted to go. Get Ayton Williams Brogdon, first-round picks in 24, 29 from Milwaukee, 29 from Boston, and you get a pick swap with the Bucks in 28 and 30. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's what an organization does. That's how you trade a star player. You don't bend the knee to one guy just because you paid him to play. This wasn't community service. Damian Lillard just wasn't out there running around for free. Come on. What's the matter with you? Khalil Mack had 6 sacks by himself. And the Chargers went over the Raiders, completely unblockable. What a showcase that was. 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey makes his case for the MVP. He had 4 touchdowns in their route. Wow. 35-16. And he put on, that was a highlight reel kind of game right there, folks. Oh, my goodness, is he good. Mac Jones got pulled out of the disgusting loss against the Dallas Cowboys 38-3. Who? Mac Jones. And how about the Bills are fearing a torn Achilles for Tre'Davious White? That would be awful. They did win, however, 48-20 over the Miami Dolphins. We'll step aside, back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
In the Den with Dan Dickerson.
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use code HUGE for a special offer when you sign up. That's code HUGE, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. We knew the final games of Miguel Cabrera's career would be special. We just had no idea how special. 2 doubles and a single on Friday night, another double and a sacrifice fly in front of a sellout crowd on Saturday. And then after 2 strikeouts and a pop-out to start the day before 41,000 on the final day, his final game, a walk in his final trip to the plate. But that wouldn't be the end. Miggy, for the first time this year, grabbed a glove, went out to first, got a ground ball off the bat of Stephen Kwan, won the race to the bag with the biggest smile you'll ever see, and that was it. The game stopped as he got hugs from his 3 children, his wife Rosangel, and his teammate. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. After the disappointment with a walk in his final trip to the plate, it was truly the perfect ending to a Hall of Fame career.
There are 13 folds that bring the American flag to the iconic shape of freedom. This summer, Folds of Honor and Budweiser celebrate 13 years of changing military and first responder lives together. Service never stops, and neither will we. So join me in raising a Budweiser to raise funds for Folds of Honor.
Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email FreddyThePizzaman@gmail.com.
Later today at 3, it's the Huge Show right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening. All across the great state of Michigan. Text the keyword Sports Radio to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Call us on the Myers Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843, 866-838-4843. Joe says, I know the haters will start thinking Tullymoore's buying access. No way! This will be a fair and balanced fall golf guys trip review. That's awesome. Let's get to that Myers Supercenter guest line. It's where we find USDA. Scott, good morning, Scott. How are you, my friend?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Fabulous. Never better. Best day of my life.
Good weekend. Hey, just quickly on college football. First of all, Michigan State. The word is the ones in the know at Michigan State. The guys they're talking to, it's not Urban Meyer, and I mean the media can do all the little snap talk that they want. It's the coach from Oregon State and the coach from Washington State, the two school, the Pac-2, the schools that don't know where they're headed, and pretty good young coaches. That's their wish list. That's their wish list right now, and probably if we can get either one of them, it'd be a big coup, and it's going to take. Goodness, I mean. It's going to take 3 or 4 years to even respectability. They can get back pretty early, but they're not. They're not going to be. They can't be competitive. They're going to lose kids. It's going to be a little tough recruiting for a few years. So to get one of those good up and comers, that would be a coup for us. As far as Michigan goes, you guys. Maybe you could have scheduled a bigger school in the first 3, but the fact of it is you can't help what the schedule says. You don't play a football game till November. You don't play a real football team till November. But you play Penn, you play State, Penn State, you play Maryland, and you play Ohio State. That could be incredibly awesome for you guys because you beat those 3 going into the playoffs. You've beaten 3 good teams, and you're ready to rock. It could be bad. You might not be ready for those 3 games, 2 on the road. But your season comes down to November. You guys it's just the way it is. I mean, you can't do anything about that.
Yeah, I can't personally do anything about it. But when you look at if you bought season tickets this year, you have East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers, Indiana, Purdue, Ohio State. That's your season ticket package.
Yeah. But listen, it's the same way if you're Michigan State. Well, not the same way. It's the same, but in a different way if you're Michigan State. If you're a fan of the team, you want to see the team no matter what. So just be happy to go to the game. And then as far as the other thing, goodness gracious, wouldn't it be absolutely awesome this year if we were in the 12-team playoff? Oh my land!
This is the perfect year for it, Scott. I already did my college football update. I recorded everything yesterday for the whole week, and this is the perfect season for the 12-team playoff right now.
Oh my gosh!
Let's cancel everything and just do that.
There's not one dominant team. There's probably 12, 13, 14 teams that could compete, could beat anybody on a Saturday. There is some dominant teams overall, but not one that you're just looking at and saying, nobody's beating that team.
Okay, and so I got to throw this out to you, Scott. I got to ask you this then, because 1 through 9 are all undefeated. That's Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, Florida State, Penn State, Washington, Oregon, and USC. Notre Dame is 10. And Alabama is 11 in the AP poll. Notre Dame's 5-1. Should have lost to Duke this past week. Alabama's 4-1. Oklahoma is 12. Washington State is 13. They're 5-0 and 4-0, respectively, with North Carolina there at number 14. If you had to pick the 12 teams, would you include a one-loss team right now today?
Yeah. And I'm not. I'm definitely not a Notre Dame fan. Look at the gauntlet they're going to go through these 4 weeks.
Oh yeah.
They're at Ohio. They played Ohio State. Then they went to Ohio State's number 4. Duke was number 15 or 16. I think Louisville is ranked now. I think they're 25th now. And then they host USC. Who else plays that schedule? If they go through that schedule 3-1, I don't see why you wouldn't put them in the Final Four. I don't see how you couldn't.
Louisville ranked number 25 this week, which I find is interesting because they're playing Notre Dame. And I think there's some shenanigans here. And then you have USC at home.
You think they gave them that 25 ranking so Notre Dame looks like another big win?
Hey, look. All right, Louisville played Georgia Tech, the Ramblin' Wreck that just lost to Bowling Green, Murray State, Indiana, Boston College, and they beat NC State 13-10. Right? That is what Louisville has done thus far. Now let's go over to Maryland. Scott, I think you're a sleuth today. You are sleuthing me. You are onto something here. Maryland this weekend, they're going to go to Ohio State, so this could all go right to hell in a handbasket. But Maryland has beat Indiana, beat the brakes off of them 44-17. They drilled Michigan State on the road 31-9. They smoked Virginia at home 42-14, and then they played Charlotte and Towson. So whatever. But Maryland's 5-0. How is Maryland not in the top 25? Where are the Terps at? You're looking for the Terps.
Yeah, Maryland should be. There is no doubt about that. But let me ask you, if you're a Michigan State fan and you got a freshman quarterback that was, I think it was a 4-star recruit quarterback that's sitting behind a guy that's had 9 turnovers in 2 games, would you not want to see that kid for the rest of the year?
Oh, there's nobody more popular than the backup quarterback. That's the most popular guy in the team.
I understand that. And then for our Tigers, I just wanted to ask you one question. Riley Green missed 67 games this year. Matt Manning missed probably, arguably 12 starts, right, with his 2 injuries.
Easily.
You have
Casey Mize missed 162 games.
Yeah, but I'm not even going that far. But just take those 2 guys. Are they worth 8 wins? If they play those, if he starts 10 games and Riley plays his 67, are they worth 10 wins? Their WAR is higher than that.
I believe that they are, because you think about when Riley Green's injury took place in the beginning of the season and how that set back like the entire roster. The difference when he was in the game versus when he wasn't was drastic, especially in the order. So yeah, I think I think they could win the Central.
And that puts us, even on this kind of year, that puts us tied with Minnesota. We're playing a 1-game playoff today.
Wouldn't that be something?
With everything that's going on in Detroit right now?
Oh
man,
every team's got a core 4. Every team has a core 4 right now.
Blow the roof off right now. We're ready to rock.
Amen, brother. Amen. Scott, safe travels to you today.
Have a good day, bud.
All right. Scott's got tenderloins on sale, by the way, 99 cents a pound. USDA Prime. I love that. Hey, folks, it's not too late. Sizzling Sundays are here at Tullymore Golf Resort. You get 36 holes, an overnight stay on a Sunday night. You get 18 on Sunday, 18 on Monday, and a steak dinner Sunday night. And you get to stay right there. What you need to do to book your Sizzling Sunday package is you need to visit TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. Call Matt Golden right now. It's in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, smack dab in the middle of the state, easy to get to no matter what direction you're coming from. It's about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant, so enjoy it. Book your stay and play before the season is over. It's already October. The clock is ticking. Cold one this morning. Going to have a heat wave early this week. We're going to see temperatures mid to high 70s, then maybe even to the low 80s, and then it's going to taper off this weekend. So book your stay and play at Tullymore today. More X's and Bros after this. Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com. At MHSAA on Twitter and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archived boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Elevate your night out at the legendary Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, now open at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Start with the finest cuts of USDA prime beef. Pair that with handcrafted cocktails, signature sides, and Ruth's legendary hospitality, and you've got yourself one incredible night. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse has arrived. Make a reservation at ruthschris.com for your incredible night at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined.
Merck Perks from Mercantile Bank is here. Merck Perks checking has all you need to plan your busy lifestyle. Travel services for hotels, airfare, and cruises, cash back rewards, and even savings on prescriptions, eyewear, and dental work. Merck Perks also includes all the traditional benefits you love, like online and mobile banking, and fee-free access to almost 40,000 MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merck is here. Learn more at mymerckperks.com, member FDIC.
Miss any of today's show? Find our podcast and listen on demand on Google, Apple, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcast. Now, back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino, here on the Michigan Sports Network.
DraftKings Sportsbook is keeping us in on the action with great offers every single game day. New customers can bet $5, get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Sign up using the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Got a text here. MSU fans did this to themselves. They all cried for Noah Kim last year over Peyton Thorne. Now they want Caton Hauser, but let's not ignore the fact that if the offense loses 1 yard on a play, the OC gives up on the drive, calls draws, and dives. That's how it goes, man. The backup quarterback is always the most popular guy on the team, unless you're solidified at your number one. If there's any question about who your number one is, Michigan just went through this with Cade and JJ. There were people that were clamoring for JJ early on. Cade McNamara did his thing. JJ sat behind. Last year won the job, and here we are. That is where we are. It takes some time. Good morning to our newest affiliated stations as well, up in northern Michigan, 93.7, 1340, and 104.7. All three of you, good morning. We've got great news just around the corner. Tomorrow morning, we'll be live on 100.9 WLUN, servicing Bay City and Saginaw. So that'll be great, right where that Flint signal, 1330. Right on the border there, and they'll get picked right back up on 100.9. So it's awesome. The expansion is good. We're growing. That's a positive, and it's because of you, the listeners. We appreciate you. I say it all the time, but we really do. It's not just a figure of speech or something that I say. We appreciate you, and we welcome you, and of course encourage you to join the program with any of your thoughts. I'll read them, even if they're Urban Meyer's thoughts. Ridiculousness. All right, we do this every Monday. What happened in the world of college football? Let's get right to it. Our college football weekly scoreboard. I'm going to start in the MAC this week. Get a little MAC shit. In the Glass Bowl, Toledo, Ohio, DeQuan Finn, the pride of King High School, 281 yards to the air and a couple of scores. Junior Vandeross, the third, 4 catches, $147, and a touchdown. The Rockets, 35-33 winners over Northern Illinois. It took overtime. Buffalo finally got their first win of the season, 13-10 over Akron. Both of those schools now are 1-4. Central Michigan beat Eastern Michigan at Kelly Short Stadium. The Chips moved to 3-2 on the year. Eastern Michigan falls to Chips moved to 3-2. Eastern Michigan is 2-3. 26-23 was your final score there. The Miami Redhawks of Ohio, 23-3 winners over Kent State. Miami now 4-1. Kent State 1-4. Bowling Green out of conference beat Georgia Tech 38-27. Sensational catch there too in that game. Up there for catch of the year with Roman Wilson's. The one-hander, incredible. And then Western Michigan, 42-24 winners over Ball State. The Broncos improved to 2-3 on the year. Ball State now 1-4. That's a quick look at your MACtion. Got I think maybe 1 or 2 weeks left before the midweek games take over. Over in the Big Ten, it was number 2, Michigan, 45-7 winners over Nebraska. J.J. McCarthy, responsible for 3 touchdowns. Roman Wilson, like I said, maybe catch of the year. Sensational. Over the back of the defender. It was just absolutely beautiful. Iowa beats Michigan State. Sorry, Spartan fans. That's kind of tough. I feel bad for you. Nothing we can do here. 26-16, your final score there. Noah Kim, 3 interceptions. They got to figure, they outgained them. They had more first downs, and they lost the game by 10. How that happens, I have no idea. And they got a defensive touchdown. What else do you need? Number 6, Penn State, a little scary early, tied 10-10, and then, the second half happened on the road at Northwestern. They won 41-13. Penn State now 5-0 on the year. My goodness. Minnesota beat Louisiana 35-24. The Golden Gophers are 3-2 on the year, 3-0 at home. That's where Michigan will be this week. Maryland thumped Indiana 44-17. My goodness. Talia Tagovailoa, 5 touchdowns in the ball game. Ohio State is on deck for the Terps. Purdue beat Illinois 44-19. Both of those squads are now 2-3 on the year. And Rutgers 4-1 on the year, they beat Wagner. Or if you're a fan of Franz and Mo, it'd be Wagner. 52-3, your final score. That one. There's a look at your Big Ten scoreboard. Now over to the top 25. It all started on Friday night with number 19 Oregon State winning at home over number 10 Utah 21-7. Number 11 Notre Dame snuck one out on the road at number 17 Duke 21-14. Number 1 Georgia had a scare against Auburn. The gap is closing. Back to Bowers. That's the combination right there. Brock Bowers, he's a man. 8 catches, 157 yards, and a touchdown. That's a real deal tight end. My goodness, he's good. Number 3 Texas pounded Kansas 40-14. Kansas was ranked number 24. Not anymore. See you later. Washington snuck by Arizona 31-24. This is what's going to happen, folks. Michael Penix, by the way, did not throw for a touchdown pass in this ballgame. But if a defense can show up against Washington, they're going to have some problems. Arizona put 24 on them. That's concerning. USC survived a late scare against Colorado. They scored 14 unanswered points to the Buffaloes in Colorado. They kicked off at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, by the way, for this game. USC still won 48-41. Colorado now 3-2. USC 5-0. Number 9 Oregon beat Stanford 42-6. Really no question there. Number 12 Alabama just boat raced Mississippi State 40-17. Number 20 Ole Miss over number 13 LSU. Good, get LSU out of there. No need for Brian Kelly. Good response there from Ole Miss. They're 4-1. 55-49, their final score there. Number 14, Oklahoma beat Iowa State by 30, 50-20. Your final score there. The Fighting Matt Campbell's really struggling this year. Number 21, Tennessee, 41-20 winners over South Carolina. Number 22, Florida had to travel to Kentucky. They lost 33-14. Kentucky is 5-0 on the season. Watch out. How about number 23, Mizzou? 38-21 winners over Vanderbilt. Missouri, 5-0. And Fresno State continues their reign of terror. 27-9 winners over Nevada. And Fresno State is 5-0. How about that? Top 25, the way that it's shaken down via the AP poll this week. Georgia is 1, Michigan is 2, Texas is 3, followed by Ohio State and Florida State at number 4 and 5. Number 6 is Penn State, Washington 7, Oregon 8, USC 9, Notre Dame is 10. They're the highest ranked one-loss team right now. Alabama's 4-1, they are 11. Oklahoma is undefeated at 5-0. They're 12. Washington State, they're 4-0. They're ranked 13th. North Carolina, they're 4-0. They're ranked 14th. Oregon State and Ole Miss, both 4-1. They check in at number 15 and 16, respectively. Miami is number 17. They're undefeated at 4-0. Followed by Utah and Duke, both 4-1. They're both ranked 18 and 19. Kentucky checks in at number 20 this week at an undefeated 5-0, followed up by Missouri at 5-0. They're 21. Tennessee, they're ranked number 22 in the country at 4-1. LSU is ranked number 23 in the country. They're 3-2. How they're I don't get it. Whatever. Fresno State is number 24 in the nation, followed up by Louisville at a 5-0 record. They are number 25. Maryland got 81 votes. So good for the Terps. They deserve those 81 votes. They should actually probably be in the top 25 right now. It seems a little suspicious that Maryland is 5-0, but Louisville is 5-0, and Louisville got the nod to get into the top 25. Are they trying to bolster Notre Dame's resume? Inquiring minds want to know. Kansas State also got 44 votes. Texas A&M with 31 votes. Wisconsin and the Big Ten, they got 6 votes, so they're kind of there on the outside looking in. Dropping from the rankings, Florida was 22. They're out. Kansas was 24, and they are out as well. That's a look at the top 25 and all the action that took place in college football. We're going to have Monday Night Football tonight. We will have our NFL scoreboard tomorrow. JJ and Cade have done the same thing at Michigan, win cupcake games, get blown out in the playoff game. Okay, so JJ and Cade have done the same thing at Michigan, win cupcake games and get blown out in the playoff game. So the Big Ten doesn't mean anything then. From that, that's what I'm gathering there. The Big Ten championship doesn't mean anything. Beating Ohio State doesn't mean anything. None of that means anything at all. Penn State doesn't matter. Michigan State doesn't matter. None of it matters. Now we're on to the playoffs. So this is how the field goal post moves for the anti-Michigan crowd, is that when you can't beat, or if you struggle against, let's say, Michigan State, you beat them, then that doesn't matter. And if it's Penn State, same rules apply. If you beat Penn State, doesn't matter if it's at home or in Happy Valley, if it's a maze-out or a whiteout, after you beat them, that no longer matters. If you take on Ohio State, the class of the Big Ten, and Ohio State has beaten the dog snot out of you for the last however many years, and then you beat them 2 years in a row, and you beat them by owning the line of scrimmage and beating the bloody hell out of them, then that no longer matters. And then if you win the Big Ten championship in Indy, all the Indy jokes, oh, you can win all the games, can't find, hey, Jim Harbaugh can get across the country to recruit, but he can't get to Indy. And then you get to Indianapolis back-to-back years and dominate those games, then that doesn't matter. And now it's on to the playoff, right? So that's the way the goalpost moves throughout the course of time, so that we're all aware. I know how it works. I understand. So for that texter right there, is as long as you admit that, Notre Dame, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, those are all cupcake games that don't matter. Now the regular season doesn't matter at all, and you just have to win a playoff game, then we're okay. That nothing else matters. The Big Ten Conference doesn't matter. We can cancel it. Just cancel it, move on. Just pick 4 teams, and if your team randomly gets picked, then you get in. Or how about this? Follow me along here. What team do you root for? Did they win the Big Ten? And did they go to the college football playoff? Yes or no? If no, then zip it. Because I'm not going to hear about it. I'm not going to listen to it. There you go. Congratulations. Good job. That's probably, I don't know who that would be a fan. Like, who is this person? And who are you a fan of? Now that nothing matters, except for the playoff. That's the only thing that matters. Good. No trophies, no banners, no nothing. Just playoff. Let's get to the playoff. So, and if you think that Cade and JJ have done the same thing, well then, you don't watch a lot of Michigan football. There you go. There you have it. I can erase that off the sheet. Bye-bye. Wow, BG, Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana, and State. I don't know what that has to do with anything. What is that? Is that the schedule? Is that what you're looking at? BG, Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana, and State. Yeah, you forgot UNLV and East Carolina. Yeah. I don't defend it, folks. Like that. This is why I'm fair and honest. This is why I haven't believed that Michigan was the second best team in the country. And the AP poll is going to continue to call them the second best team in the country because that's where they're at. So as long as they keep winning, they're going to keep, getting more votes for number one. And if Georgia has another close call against another cupcake that they play, then okay, great. But that's the way that's the way this works, folks. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not defending that schedule. I don't like that schedule at all. Like, I'm all for the Power Five at this point completely going rogue and separating. I have asked for years, wherever you finish in the conference, to rotate and play teams that have finished in their conference in the similar standing, to go play head-to-head and rotate it. I've asked for years. And then to get the mid-major affiliate, a.k.a. the group of 5, one game against their regional conference affiliate is what I called it. So if you win the MAC, you get to go play the winner of the Big Ten. That's great. I'd rather see if Toledo wins the MAC and they got to go take on Michigan. Great. That's a good game for both. That's fun. I got no problem there. At least it's easy color scheme for me. But shoot, I don't defend this schedule. That's why I'm fair and honest. I don't believe that Michigan's the second best team in the country. We haven't faced an offense worth a damn. Period. You play who's on it, you beat the hell out of them, and you keep moving forward. This week, it's the Little Brown Jug. We'll be running around the golf course looking for those pesky Gophers. And that's it. And then after Minnesota, Indiana. And then Michigan State. And there were some people coming after me this week on the Twitterverse talking about Michigan State. Look here, folks. A couple of years ago, when these two teams, the Kenneth Walker game, these two teams met, and they were both undefeated. Oh, by the way, didn't J.J. McCarthy beat Michigan State? I think he did. Yeah, did Cade? I don't think he did. Oh, there's a difference. I want these teams to meet undefeated in late October. I want the state of Michigan to be the center of the college football universe. That's what I want. I want Michigan State to get better, get good. Let's get to Freddie, who's on the line. Good morning, Freddie. Happy Monday.
Didn't Cade and JJ beat Penn State, Ohio State, win the Big Ten championship, and get blown out in the playoff game?
Did Cade beat Michigan State?
I said.
Did Cade beat Michigan State?
Okay, so JJ beat Michigan State. That makes him better.
Well, there you go. You said that all they did. None of it means anything, anyways, Freddie. According to that one random texter, none of it matters.
Who brought him to the Big Ten championship game first after all the years of disappointment, getting blown out by Ohio State 62-19 when Winovich was wearing his no revenge shirts? Who brought him there first?
How many times have I said that on this show? Listen to those kids. Listen to those kids. They know I'm right. How many times have I said Michigan wouldn't be where they're at without Cade McNamara? How many times?
Anthony, all these hot moms are coming for you right here. I got them all here for you. Listen, Cade McNamara brought Michigan out of the realm of disappointment of all those years when your head coach couldn't get it done. Now JJ's being praised that he's doing it better. Come on, he's doing the same thing.
Look at the stats. He is doing it better. Look at the way they play the game. The outcomes are the same right now. The outcomes are the same.
Stats don't mean anything.
Okay.
It's about winning.
All right.
Okay. So ask Matthew Stafford what stats mean. It means nothing.
Hey, shout out to Puka Nacua, by the way, who through the first 4 games of a season has more yards than Calvin Johnson and Cooper Kupp, which were both the guys that had the most receiving yards in a single season, by the way.
I say we bring Stafford back. Honestly, the way the Lions are playing right now, I want to bring him back. I think he deserves.
Christ Almighty!
Have a good day.
Oh, how did we get here? What is happening? How did we end up here on this Monday? I can't. I wish I could see Ryan's face right now. I wish I could see his face right now. If you think that the offenses are the same between JJ and Cade, if you think that Cade McNamara is a better quarterback than JJ McCarthy, I question your ability to evaluate the talent on the field. And, yeah, Cade played with, a lot of people, like Joel Klatt said this might be Michigan's best team talent-wise. I don't believe that. I really don't. But, yeah, sorry. You want to bring up Chase Winovich and all that? That's fine. I like Chase Winovich. I like Pete Winovich. Saw Pete Winovich. He was on the sideline for Bowling Green. That's Chase's brother. Good people. Good family. I got no problem with the revenge tour. It's great. Back-to-back wins against Ohio State. Back-to-back Big Ten championships. Feast on that. I still don't think they're the second-best team in the country. We'll step aside. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my good friend Matt Golden. Now, he's the CEO and GM at the Tullymore Golf Resort. They're in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids. And fall golf is here, and they have some huge deals you can take advantage of on stay-and-play packages, tee times, and more. Just go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymoregolf.com. Also, if you want to book a Christmas party for the holidays, you want to squeeze in a business meeting with some golf and great food and beverages, Matt Golden and his team can take care of you right now. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. They're also booking big groups who want stay-and-play packages, or maybe you just want to look ahead to the perfect weekend in 2024. Remember, Tullymore is less than an hour north of GR in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. Book your stay-and-play package or get more info now at tullymoregolf.com.
Friday, October 27th, TVs and Practical Jokers are up to their usual tricks.
If you're not here, you are missing out.
It's the Tenderloins at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resorts. Sal, James, and Brian for 2 shows and twice the laughs. 7 and 10 p.m. Tickets start at $59. On sale now at the box office and etix.com. Don't miss the Drive Tour with the Tenderloins, October 27th. Party hard, laugh louder. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
Roast Umber is a farm direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.